Cowboys Nation, hold on to your hats because today's news is exactly the kind of move that tells you Jerry Jones is not, and I repeat, not giving up on this season. Dallas just added a massive reinforcement for the trenches, a legit 300-plus pound anchor to help protect Dak Prescott and give this offense the spark it desperately needs heading into Monday Night Football. But before I reveal who the Cowboys just brought in, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. We are chasing 11,000 subscribers, and every single one of y'all helps this community grow. If you breathe Cowboys football the way I do, join the family. Let's get there together. All right, let's talk about this move.
Monday Night Football, excited to have you here, Troy. And let's start with the Eagles, who we saw this past Monday. What do you make of the Eagles winning despite not having gaudy numbers and maybe looking a little ugly at times on offense?
I'm okay with it. I really am. I mean, there's a lot to look into, and I know everybody does, and everyone breaks it down the week after. I just think the way they began the year.
Some guts, something that Dan Campbell's never been lacking, right? Let's look at our Monday night game. 2 subpar performances for the Cowboys offense coming into this. What can Dak and company do to turn things around?
Well, I think it's indicative of just how much they rely on the offense. When you look at the last couple of games, and if they don't play at their best, they're going to have a hard time winning. And it's why they've lost the last 2. It's one thing to go to Denver against that group and not have your best effort. It's another thing to return home when you've been putting up 40 points a game in the 3 home games prior to Arizona. And they just didn't play well. And I don't think anybody expected that to happen. But this offense the last 2 weeks has not played very well. They've turned the ball over. I think you can make a case that maybe they should run the ball a little more than what they do. I think what they've gotten out of Javonte Williams has been really impressive. Of course, they've got 2 big weapons on the outside, and you want to take advantage of that. But they've got to play better. I mean, they've got a gauntlet of games once they get past this game Monday night against Las Vegas. That's you know, you hate to say it, but that's when the tough part of their schedule hits them. So they've got to get better. And then defensively, the reinforcements that they got this last week with the trade and then having the bye week, get rested up. Of course, they're dealing with a lot right now emotionally with the loss of Marshon Kneeland, and we'll see how they respond on Monday night. But they've got a lot of work ahead of them.
Yeah, you mentioned Marshon Kneeland, and you know the week of football aside, it's been an incredibly difficult week down in Dallas following Kneeland's death. Dak Prescott spoke with the media for the first times about this moments ago. We're going to take a listen to that here.
Marshon, just a great dude. Just spirit was always high. Anytime you crossed him, very contagious attitude. We spent, I would say, a lot of time throughout the training room, passing each other, having small conversations here and there, and very loving, contagious guy. I mean, I know that, right? It's been noted, right? His saying was one love, and I think you just felt that. You felt that aura, you felt that demeanor, you felt him carry that, and that's everything that he did. The way he played this game, the way he took care of his body, he did that like a veteran. He was a professional. He was much more of a professional than a lot of young guys that I've seen throughout the league, and doing everything that you need to do the right way to make sure you're available. And Marshon did that. I just know the best thing that's helped me out is just when people were just there for me. And when they're there for me in silence, just feeling their presence, feeling their love, and showing me what it looks like to how to move from one day to the next, doing better, and trying to carry on a legacy.
And no doubt this team is grieving, as you would expect. And football secondary here, but they now have to prepare for next week's Monday Night Football game against the Raiders that we've just been talking about. Troy, what are your thoughts on how they'll handle this?
Well, I think the positive thing for them is the fact that they were allowed to grieve last week without the worries of having to try to go out and play with the timing of their bye week. And you know, I think Dak said it really well. I did not know Marshon Kneeland, but clearly he had a big impact on that locker room in such a short period of time. And by all accounts, it sounds like Brian Schottenheimer handled it extremely well with the family and then with the team, and all the players respected that. So that's a real positive. There's no doubt they go into this game, they're going to have heavy hearts. I think that for a lot of NFL players, a lot of athletes in general, when they have tragedy like this, the only thing that brings any sense of normalcy to them is when they get back out onto the practice field, or in this case on Monday night, in the game. This gives them something to play for and honor his memory. So I expect them to come out and play exceptionally well. Unfortunately for Dallas, they've dealt with this in the past. Not that makes it any easier. They lost a strength coach just a few years ago in season as well. So I like the way the Jones family and the Cowboys organization and everyone involved has handled it. How they respond, I would expect that they'll respond very favorably.
Dallas enters Monday night at 3-5-1, losers of 2 straight and 3 of their last 4. And yeah, the Raiders are sitting at 2-7, one of the biggest disappointments of 2025. But let's be real, the Cowboys have lost too many easy games over the years to take anything for granted. And with all the pressure on Dak Prescott, a guy who this franchise absolutely cannot afford to lose, the Cowboys decided they needed more depth, more size, and more insurance up front. Because on Tuesday, Dallas lost offensive tackle Jerron Christian, a former Commander's 3rd-round pick, after the Broncos swooped in and signed him to their active roster. Christian had been one of the key depth pieces on the practice squad. Dallas needed an answer, and they found one. Segment 2, the signing, Marcellus Johnson joins the Cowboys. The Cowboys officially signed Marcellus Johnson, a 6'4", 307-pound offensive tackle, to the practice squad. This guy is big, powerful, built like a brick wall, and plays the exact position Christian just vacated. Now look, let's be fair here. Johnson has not played an NFL snap yet. He came into the league as an undrafted free agent in 2024, and the Giants gave him a surprisingly high guarantee for a UDFA, $170,000, the largest of their entire class. That's not nothing. Teams don't hand out 6-figure UDFA guarantees unless they believe the guy has actual potential. Since then, Johnson has bounced around Minnesota and Indianapolis before finally landing in Dallas this week. And to put it in perspective, one NFL insider graded him almost as high as his Eastern Michigan teammate Sidy Sow, who went in the 3rd round of the 2023 draft and is now on the Texans' 53-man roster. So yeah, Johnson can play. He just needs the right opportunity and the right system. The Cowboys' offensive line hasn't been the team's biggest problem, and here's the evidence. 3rd lowest sack percentage in the NFL. 4.2%, only 15 sacks allowed in 9 games, 7th best in the league. Dak is getting the ball out in 2.6 seconds, 19th in the NFL. This unit isn't collapsing, but Dak is still facing more pressure than the team wants, and with Tyron Smith no longer here. Steele struggling at times, young linemen still developing, and the team fighting for its season. You absolutely need emergency depth at tackle, and that's exactly what Johnson provides. If injuries hit, if protection starts leaking, or if the Cowboys need a power body for short yardage formations, they now have a 307-pound option ready to elevate. Let's be honest, the Cowboys' offense has been inconsistent, and when Dak Prescott is kept clean, this team can compete with absolutely anyone. But when the pocket gets messy, the whole system collapses. So adding more size, more depth, and more potential developmental talent is something championship-level organizations do. This isn't a flashy signing. This is a smart signing, and it's a message that we still believe this season isn't over. Let's set realistic expectations. Johnson is not jumping to the 53-man roster immediately. It would take a couple of injuries for him to suit up on game day. But the Cowboys now have a young, moldable, high-upside tackle with traits teams liked coming out of college. And for a team clinging to postseason hopes, this matters more than people think. Cowboys Nation, what do you think? Do you see this signing as smart insurance? Do you think Johnson is just a depth body? Or could he actually grow into something legit here in Dallas? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I respond to as many as I can. And again, make sure to like this video and subscribe so we can hit our 11K subscriber goal. This community is growing like crazy, and it's all thanks to y'all. I'm Victor, this is Dallas Cowboys Today, and I'll see you in the next one.